All right, welcome back, boys and girls. We're about to do our reading, and we'll be reading Zinnia's Flower Garden. This book was written and illustrated by Monica Wellington. Last week, I had you listen to the book online on a YouTube channel. Today, I will read it. I don't have the book in my home, but I'm going to use my teacher's guide that has a smaller version, a miniature version of the book. So some of the things I won't be able to see. The writing is too small, but for the most part, I can see everything that's in the big book. All right, so here we go. Zinnia's Flower Garden. And we see the story is probably going to be about a garden and a girl planting. So we see the shovel and the seeds and everything. So that's what we can make that assumption that it'll be about her planting a garden. On the first page, we see Zinnia, and she's walking to her garden. She's left her home, and she's used a path to get to her garden, which is very near her home. Spring has arrived. Zinnia is getting her garden ready for planting. She digs up the soil and turns it over with her shovel. She takes out stones and rakes the dirt smooth. The warm sun feels good as she works. And so you see she has my garden journal, so she'll be journaling every day, probably putting something in her journal. And there's Zinnia digging up that dirt. When I first read that, I thought about myself outside digging. I also like to garden. And yes, in the beginning, you have to dig up the dirt, take out weeds and stones, and make the ground perfect for the seeds to go in. Zinnia carefully plants many kinds of flower seeds in rows. She covers the seeds with dirt and pats it all down very gently. She sprinkles the ground with water. And why do you think she's watering her plants? That's right, because plants need water, air, sunshine, and space to grow. Here's her first journal entry, May 3rd. Notice the May is capitalized. Very busy planting my seeds today. Such hard work. But she looked like she enjoyed it. She did a good job. She has a happy look on her face, so she's still happy. Zinnia waits for the seeds to sprout. The seeds need the sun to shine, the rain to fall, and many days to pass. It's hard to wait so long for her seeds to grow. So even when it's raining, she's outside checking her seeds, seeing if anything is starting to grow. Every day, Zinnia checks her garden to see if anything has happened. Look, the first seedling is poking its way up through the dirt. And we see she's excited about that. Look at that. Her first seedling. Let's see if her journal entry says May 20th, my first sprout today. Wow. So she's excited about that. Now Zinnia's garden is full of green sprouts growing toward the sun. Little stems grow taller, little leaves get bigger, little roots burrow deeper into the earth. And we see her many plants coming up, the roots getting deeper into the dirt. Why do you think they're burrowing into the dirt? That's right, because they help the plants to stand up so they get stronger the more they burrow down. Let's see if I can read this journal entry. Lots of sprouts. I can't even count them. I think it says something else, but it's very hard for me to see. And there she is. She's really happy about her sprouts coming up. Happy and excited. All right. Zinnia takes care of her garden every day. When the sun is hot and the soil is dry, she waters her thirsty plants. And we see that she's watering her plants. And she's watering her plants why? That's right, because they're thirsty, because it's a hot day out. And just like you would get thirsty, the plants get thirsty too. Let's see if I can read her journal. June 17th, no rain for a week. My garden is so dry. Oh boy. And it's tough. Alrighty, next page. She pulls up pesky weeds that try to crowd out her plants. She inspects them for greedy bugs. She measures how tall her strong and healthy plants are growing. Every day they get bigger and bigger. So there she is, pulling out weeds, checking for bugs. And why are the weeds no good? Why did she pull them out? Yeah, because they take up space. They would crowd those plants and they wouldn't have any space to grow. So they have to get out of there, those weeds. And the bugs, of course, want to eat her leaves. What kind of bug would want to eat her leaf? What kind of bug? Maybe a caterpillar would want to eat her leaf, of course, right? Because they love to eat so many leaves so they get fat, fat, fat. Then they make their cocoon. Then they turn into butterflies. Nice job. Next page. First thing in the morning, Zinnia runs out to check her garden. She is excited to see little buds growing on many of her plants. And I think this journal is too small for me to read. Let's see if I can focus in on it. No, I can't read it. All right, but we see are different things, as we talked about, the butterfly and the caterpillar eating her leaves, turning into a butterfly. Maybe some birds might even eat a few of her leaves when they pick the berries or something off her leaf. But there's Zinnia running to her garden, and she's so excited about the whole thing. It really is fun to plant gardens. I love it too. And then at last she finds what she has been waiting for, the first flower. One bud has bloomed. How beautiful! And what a sweet smell. There are many more buds that will open soon. And so we see all the different flowers. Let me see if I can read this entry. July 25th, my first flower taking today. And lots more to come. And amazing, a big, can't read that, sorry. It's print's too small. Again, this book's miniature, so I can't see a lot of it. But there she is with her bud. And isn't it cool how some pages are have real flowers, pictures of real flowers, and some are clip art, the cartoon-like flowers. Even though Zinnia is a cartoon, her flower is a real bud. Pretty cool. The garden grows and grows with blossoming flowers. Zinnia paints, reads, and picnics among them. Butterflies flutter, bees buzz. Zinnia's garden is her favorite place to be on these warm summer days. And it says, August 11th, I love my garden. And there she is, working in her garden. And look at her, she just loves her beautiful flowers. So colorful. Her flowers are abundant, meaning there's so many. And Zinnia cut some to arrange into a bouquet. The fragrant scents of the flowers swirl around in the warm breeze. So you get to smell all these beautiful flowers. The fragrances are so great. Let's see if I can read it. I think it says August 21st. My sunflowers are taller than I am. Oh, wow. Look. Yep. They are bigger than she is. Beautiful. One hot summer day, Zinnia has a lemonade stand and puts up a sign. Pick your own flowers. Customers come and gather bunches of flowers and drop money in her jar. And the journal entry says, don't forget to smell the flowers. August 28th. Busy today at my stand. Everyone loves my flowers. So there she is. She has a lemonade stand. And just for a little bit of money, you can pick flowers at her garden. How nice. I would go if I was there. All right. In the autumn, as it gets colder, Zinnia picks the last flowers from her garden. She finds ripe seeds that have formed. They are ready to be collected. She will save them to plant next year. Journal entry says October 19th, last of seeds. Can't read the rest of it. And there she is running around in the fall, trying to catch leaves, probably. Having fun. The winter days are short, the sun is dim, and the ground is covered with snow. But Xenia is already planning next year's garden. When spring comes, she'll be ready to grow her very own flowers again. So even though it's winter out, she has her mind on her garden. What's the first thing she's going to do? That's right, dig up the dirt. And that's it. So the first thing Xenia does is dig up the garden. Then she plants her seeds. And we talked about how that is important because you just plant the seeds, they may not sprout. Then she waters her garden and she checks her garden. She does the weeding of her garden, making sure that the pesky bugs don't get there. And then the plants start to bloom. She has a lemonade stand and she sells some of her flowers. Then she saves some of the seeds for next year. And then, last but not least, she thinks about planting her garden for the following year. All right, you will have some questions to answer on the story on your Google Forms. Xenia's Flower Garden is the name of the form. You'll answer some questions. You will also be doing pages 50 and 51 in your Journeys book. Those pages are for writing, and they are for the letter E. All right, boys and girls, take a break, and when you come back, we'll do a little bit of writing, and then you should be on your way to science. All right, see you soon.